Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome back to another Explainer, where today we're unpacking one of the absolutely most intense, fascinating thought experiments out there about the nature of time, wealth, and what actually matters in the end. We're looking at a concept known as the sovereign of a single day. So buckle up, because we're going to explore a scenario that completely shatters our normal understanding of economics and human behavior.
Picture this. You wake up tomorrow morning and you are given an absolute ironclad medical guarantee. You will drop dead in exactly 24 hours. But at that exact same moment, your bank account fills with an undroppable, completely infinite stream of liquid capital. So what do? The clock has just started ticking. You literally have infinite resources, but absolutely zero time. Right off the bat, we are met with the ultimate psychological paradox here. Think about what money actually is at its core. It's a tool, right? We use it to secure future comfort, future resources, future leverage. But in this scenario, your future has completely evaporated. And when you remove the future from the equation, money instantly loses its traditional meaning.
Because here's the reality of your situation. You cannot buy a medical miracle, and you absolutely cannot bribe the clock. It's ticking no matter what. So to make this single day matter, you have to undergo an instant, radical transformation. You can't just be a consumer anymore. You have no time to consume. Instead, you have to aggressively become the most hyper-accelerated structural disruptor in human history.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the strict ticking clock structure we'll be following today. We break your final day down into these crucial 6-hour blocks: the deluge, endowments, local impact, the silence, and finally, your legacy. The clock is officially ticking down from 24 hours. Let's look at your morning. Hours 0 to 6, the institutional deluge. You wake up, you realize the situation, and your first hurdle hits you like a freight train. Traditional systems are just way too slow. You want to buy real estate? A mega yacht? Escrow and paperwork take weeks. You don't have weeks, you have hours. Panic kind of sets in. You need this capital moving, right now, frantically, just to get the whole thing in motion. To bypass this massive bottleneck, you realize pretty quickly you need hands, really fast hands. So, your very first move? Bypassing traditional banking entirely. You get on the phone and you hire the world's top corporate law firms and elite quantitative trading teams. You offer them multi-million-dollar upfront retainers just to skip their morning coffee and act as your digital avatars. You need instant algorithmic action. And what are those teams actually doing? They are targeting systemic digital liabilities. With your infinite funds, you instruct your new algorithmic systems to instantly start erasing billions, literally billions with a B, dollars in debt. You aren't buying physical things. You're buying out digital ledgers and wiping them completely clean at light speed. Before the sun even peaks in the sky, your algorithms are hard at work. They're erasing predatory medical debts. They're wiping out student loans. They're clearing microfinance defaults across entire developing nations. In a matter of just a few hours, you are freeing millions of families from crushing financial burdens, simply by zeroing out the databases holding them hostage. All right, hours 6 through 12, endowing the future. The initial frenzy is over, and you pivot. Because you obviously can't spend the money on yourself, you spend these middle hours constructing unassailable multi-billion-dollar blind trusts and foundations for everyone else. You start dropping massive, permanent endowments right into foundational societal pillars. We're talking fully funding open-source medical research clusters so humanity can cure diseases freely. You're dumping endless capital into clean water infrastructure, regional agricultural developments, and independent journalism networks. You are effectively buying the infrastructure of a utopian future, proving that infinite money is definitely best used on permanent public goods. But how do you make sure people don't just, steal all that money tomorrow when you're gone? And this brilliantly illustrates the utility of modern technology in our thought experiment. By setting up decentralized smart contracts on the blockchain, you make sure these endowments are locked in. The blockchain becomes this foolproof automated mechanism ensuring your funds remain fully protected and operational long after your bank access terminates. You're basically coding your will into the unchangeable internet. But wait, let's pause the frantic action for just a second here. What actually happens to the global financial system if it realizes a single individual possesses truly infinite, unchecked liquidity and is just suddenly flooding the market with it? The danger is hyperinflation. This is the ultimate economic loophole, but it's a very real, massive risk. If the markets see infinite money pouring in randomly, the currency crashes to zero. You could inadvertently collapse the exact world you are trying to help.
So, to avoid destroying the global economy, you have to execute the shadow strategy. You cannot announce your wealth. Instead, you establish hundreds of anonymous institutional shells, moving like a total ghost through the global market. You absorb debt secretly, and you fund projects entirely under the radar. You become an invisible superhero of liquidity.
The clock keeps ticking. We're now into hours 12 to 18, hyper-localized transformation. With your macro foundations securely locked in and hidden, your attention finally shifts from the abstract digital realm to immediate, tangible impact. You begin buying up entire physical supply lines globally. You purchase fleets of cargo flights loaded with food, deploying them instantly to disaster zones, alongside physical emergency medical kits and heavy machinery. And right in your own local community, you quietly and fully underwrite the construction of state-of-the-art schools, public parks, and advanced manufacturing plants. You're ensuring that your region has a multi-generational economic engine that will just run forever.
And then, the sun begins to set. You enter hours 18 to 24. The unbuyable silence. The frantic typing stops. The screaming phone calls with international central banks end. The digital wire transfers are complete. You are out of time. But the beauty of what you built in the morning is that you don't actually need to be at the keyboard anymore. The automated algorithmic systems you set in motion keep running on their own, cascading through the global economy. This automation affords you the ultimate luxury for your final hours, the absolute freedom to step away from the screens entirely. You spend your final night offline, completely offline. As the source material beautifully puts it, you spend it sitting down for a quiet, simple meal with the people who actually know your real name, not your net worth. After a day of orchestrating a global financial storm, the greatest thing your infinite money buys you is the peace to enjoy a simple dinner with the people you love. So the crucial point is this. When the 24 hours are up, you leave behind a world fundamentally altered, a single 24-hour financial storm that proves exactly what capital can do when it's completely separated from personal greed.
Because you had zero time to enjoy it, you won't be remembered for cars or houses or luxury. You will be remembered as a strange mythological anomaly, the sovereign who held the keys to the world's wealth for a single day and used it to buy a better future for everyone else.
It's just an incredible framework for thinking about what resources are actually for. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to chew on. If the clock started ticking for you, right now, what would you do? Thanks for joining me for this explainer. I really hope it got you thinking. Keep asking the big questions, and I will see you next time.